Hello.
Hello, all. Very good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, how was the day, everyone?
All good, sir.
Yeah, good.
Looks like a busy day for all.
Yes, sir. Hey, sorry, this is Hi Vishnu. This is Tirupati Rao. Today I joined the class.
Yeah, am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You
yes.
are.
Yeah, just waiting for.
Yeah, you are audible actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. Let me share my screen. So, today our main agenda. So, today is the day one. So, yesterday was the demo. So, basically, yesterday we saw the overview. So, today we will be jumping right into performance testing. Sorry. So, our main agenda today will be to understand different types of testing. What is basically performance testing? Some basics on that, and with some examples, we will see like what are the types of testing we do, and some important terminologies like throughput, hits, throughput, requests, and all those stuff, right? So some important terminologies which you need to know if you are into performance testing domain. These are some things which you should know surely, like you can say more sort of like a fundamental thing. Okay, so because no one will if you are like, let's say, attending an interview for performance testing, it is assumed that you know this. Okay, something like that, right? So those things we will try to see today. and it's a day one. So we'll start onto that. We'll jump directly into that. Before that, any questions anyone has before I start from yesterday's session or anything you want to?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tirupati, yesterday I missed out. Today I joined the new class.
Okay. No issues. Go through the recordings. Okay, and
I'll
if you
do.
get any doubts and all, you can ask. Okay, later.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, actually,
So
I have one doubt. Like, are we are going to automate the performance testing as well in this course actually?
yeah, we have a session on CI/CD using Jenkins. So that time we will automate performance testing in JMeter.
Because nowadays, along with manual performance testing, like companies are asking for the automation as well.
Yeah.
So that is why.
Yeah. Yes, we have a small session on that of how you automate your performance testing using Jenkins.
And are we going to cover like a scripting part, Groovy language, and all those things?
Bean shell
Scripting.
and Groovy we will not cover. We'll be covering Bean shell.
Okay, scripting part is also required actually in performance testing.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But again, that is like, see, nowadays there are a lot of different methods and different easy hacks, okay, which you can adopt. Means like you don't need to write the script fully. There are ways using AI and all you can generate very easily. Okay, so that we will try to understand and learn.
But in interview actually they are not going to allow AI. So that
That
is
is
why
true.
we need to
No,
write.
but anyways, frankly speaking, if you are new to performance, you won't be able to learn scripting in just a month. Because
Okay.
that is again JavaScript, right? You have to learn JavaScript for that. Okay. So, but obviously there are some scripts like common scripts which I have created, some 5-10 scripts which generally come common. So that you will have, maybe you can maybe by heart it. I don't know. But what I'm saying is scripting you will learn only if you keep exercising it, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So people who like, I mean, see, if you're trying for an interview which will ask for bean shell scripting and all, then that is more sort of like a 7 years or 7+ years of experience range. For 5 years and 4 years, they will not ask more. If at all they ask also, you can just say that I used to take help from online to create scripts. Easily you can say that. Okay. But if you are 7+8+ years of experience, yes, surely maybe you should try some scripting also on the bean shell side. That too, there are some 5-6 ones which are very common ones. Once you maybe even by heart it, that is more than enough. You can just say these are the scripts we used and we wrote. Okay. Yeah. Right. So let's now dive into what is performance testing. So like, can someone say what is your understanding about performance testing? What are we doing? What's the objective? When I say performance testing,
it's to use it to measure the application performance under different conditions.
okay. So when I say application performance, okay, what are those metrics or what? Or not metrics, I can say. Let's say you are opening Amazon, and I'm saying Amazon is performing very well. What do you mean by that? So what is it that behind that you see that okay, and you're saying that okay, it is performing very well.
Response, it is pro.
Yeah. So let's say fast. It loads fast. Okay. It loads fast. Anything else?
How many volume, how many people are using at a time, and
Yeah.
the
So
system
that
are not
anyways,
getting
let's
down.
say I'm opening Amazon in my browser. I will not know how many people are using it, right? Anyways, that is not
Yeah, but
as a user.
yeah,
As a user, let's say I'm saying Amazon is a good application. It is good in performance, and I'm saying that what is it that I look or what is it that is making me to say that okay, this application is performing well.
it is working fast.
Speed of the
Whatever
application.
the APIs we are hitting, it is getting a response quickly, like below 3 seconds
Correct.
or something.
So
Speed of
quick
the application.
response, right? Ultimately, it's loading very fast, right? Let's say it loads fast. It's not getting delayed. Even when you get something, you're getting fully. So full response.
Hmm.
Because what happens is, let's say you are loading something. If someone is not speaking, and they go on mute. I'm getting some noise. Yeah, thank you. So full response means, like, let's say Amazon loads, okay, the Amazon landing page, or the Amazon, we call it the landing page. Okay, the first page which of any application which we open, that main post, okay, without anything, right? The starting page, we call it the landing page. Okay. So when we open the landing page of this application, let's say something, for example, this is not coming. These things are not coming. Rest are coming. You would have observed, right? Like that happening, right? Maybe due to internet slowness or something like that. So you will see that the site has not loaded fully, right? So that is also when happens, people will say, or we can say that it's not performing well. Now it could be two reasons. One is a functional issue that is not in our hand. So when I say functional issue, what happens is, okay, this image is missing, or the function, I mean, like the API is not working. Those are also all like functional issues. But the things that happen due to the slowness of my network slowness, or due to my the application slowness, all those we will say that it's a performance issue. So ultimately, if you see, response time is something called response time. So what is a response time? So the name itself, response, right? Let's say I am hitting a person. Okay, so he will hit me back, right? So let's say I hit him, and he is hitting me back. So that response time, right? Like, I mean, like, how much time he's taking to respond back. Or let's say I said hi to you. Okay. Now I am getting a hi back after 2 seconds from him. So the response time. So he took 2 seconds to respond. So that is a response time, right? So response time is the time which your application is taking to respond to you, of to whatever you are asking, right? For example, let's say I have Vishal here and Harika is here. Okay. Now what Vishal will do, he will send a hi. And let's say Harika is sending a hi back. Let's say Vishal send it at 5 p.m. Harika is sending it at, let's say Vishal gets back hi from Harika at 5 p.m. So the time Harika took to respond to Vishal is 5 minutes. Okay. Now let's say the same thing. Okay. Now let's say I am speaking to Harika here. Okay. I am sending a hi. Let's say at 5 p.m. Same. Okay. Same as Vishal. Now I get the hi from Harika at 5:02 p.m. So Harika took 2 minutes to respond to me for the same thing, right? It can happen. Okay, but ultimately, what what is this 2 minutes? This is the time, and this 5 minutes. This is the time which Harika took to respond to me, right? Now in this situation, what we will do? Let's try to replace it with the, let's say this is my server and this is my browser. So browser 1, browser 2. When I say browser 1, browser 2, it is Vishal's computer. This is my computer. And this is the server of the application. I'll explain what is server and all as we progress. Okay. Now, Vishal is saying to the server, give me the landing page. Give me the landing page. Now, server will send the landing page and print it. The browser will print that landing page in front of you. It takes 5 minutes. Similarly, same thing. Let's say, give me the landing page. I send and I get the landing page back in 2 minutes. So this time, right, this is called the response time. The time the server is taking to respond back, or the total time from starting of the, like, I'm asking for something to the server and I'm getting it back. So how much time I took for that whole journey? That is called the response time, right? The time the server is taking to respond to my request. Now, see, there are many things to this. Okay. Now, why it is 2 minutes here and why it is 5 minutes here? Let's take this, come back to our Vishal, Harika and me example. Okay. Why it took 2 minutes for me here and 5 minutes for Vishal? What could be the reasons, you think? Why Harika responded to me fast and let's say to Vishal slow? What all could be the reasons?
Network speed.
Okay, let's take this way. Okay, we here there's no network. Okay, I mean like they are speaking. We are
Server
speaking with each
response.
other. So let's say Vishal's house is, let's say, 1 kilometer away, and my house is 500 meters away from Harika's house. So let's say Harika shouts. Okay, let's say she's a very good shouter. Her sound can go 1 kilometer. Okay, so the sound will reach 500 meters faster, right? Compared to 1 kilometer,
Yes.
isn't it? Right? So that's why her high came to me faster and her high went to Vishal slower. Same thing happens with the browser server combination also. Let's say I am in US and Vishal is in India. Vishal is accessing Amazon, which is Amazon server, which is, let's say, somewhere in UK. Okay. Now, or let's say this is in US. Okay. So my Amazon server is in US. I am in US, server is in US. Vishal is in India. Okay. Now, what happens now, due to the server distance and the browser, what happens is the amount of time which this request travels in the network is high. It has to travel a long distance on the network, in the network communication. That's why, let's say, here if it takes 2 minutes, it will take, let's say, 5 minutes here because of the distance. Because here both are in the same country, so let's say the network distance is not that high. But since Vishal and the server, or the Vishal's browser and the server are in different locations, it will take more time. And this we call it as something called a latency. So response time is this. There is something called a latency also, which comes due to the distance of your browser and the server. Okay. So before I proceed, any questions till now? Anyone has?
Latency is not directly proportional to the distance. It could be any
That we
reason,
cannot
right?
say. No, that we cannot say. But what I'm
Right,
saying
okay.
is, if your distances are different, surely latency will be high. Okay. So what I'm saying is, let's say, okay, for now, assume, okay, what a server is. Server is something like, now see, Amazon application surely will have some code written. Hello? Some code and all is
Yes.
written. Right? So that code
Yes.
will be lying on some computer somewhere.
Yes.
Which, so let's assume that place that code is written and put, and where that code is running. Let's say we are calling it as a server. Okay, let's assume for now in a simple way. And let's say this computer is in US, and let's say it is at Jeff Bezos' house, because Amazon was found by Jeff Bezos, right? Like, let's assume, okay, it is in his house. The code, whoever has written, they have kept it in that computer, and everybody is accessing that application, which is in his house from multiple locations. Okay, so let's say there is a person from India who is accessing it. There's a person from US who is accessing it, from UK, etc. Okay, now how do we access? Using our, let's say, Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, whatever browser we are using. So now both are in US, so the distance is less. Now India and US, distance is more. So what happens is, when I send a request to the server, so what I'm sending to the server is called a request. I'm requesting the server. Please give me this. Please give me this. Right. So that's why we are calling it as a request. And what I get back from the server is called the response. It is how the server is responding to my request. Right. That's why we are calling response. So now request and response. Okay. Now the distance which this request has to travel, let's say it is 100 kilometers. But here it might be in 10,000 kilometers. Okay. So what happens is, obviously it will not be directly proportional, or that proportionality will not. That means, like, for example, if it is 1 second here, it will be 1 second into that kilometer. No, not like that. It will be different. But surely, if the latency is 1 second here, it will be, let's say, 4 seconds here. Clear till this point, all of you? Any doubts? So when I say latency, the latency is the time which it is taking this for the request when it leaves the browser and enters the server. The time between this, not inside the browser or inside the server. No, the
So
latency which
that
I am
means
speaking
the
here. Yeah,
moment request initiate and
correct.
reaches up to the server, the
Yeah,
time taken between those is called a request
network latency.
latency.
Network
Network.
latency. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And see, there are sometimes slowness due to internal latency also. Internal latency means, like, let's say we are a family. Now I am sitting in my bedroom, and my brother is sitting in the hall. My wife is sitting, let's say, somewhere in the kitchen. Now there also some small, maybe some delay will be there, right? That we call internal latency. Internal latency is inside the browser due to, let's say, your system slowness, right? Because let's say Harika is using Mac, and let's say I am using Windows. So what will happen? Let's say Windows is little slow, but Mac is a fast performing thing. So the browser latency will be very low. The internal server also, right? If Jeff Bezos is cutting the cost, what he will do? He will put a server of low cost, like i5. Okay, let's not keep i5, let's keep i3. He will think, and when that happens, inside your server, little slowness will be there. That is slowness, right? Which is there inside server, inside browser. We call it internal latency, and that is generally ignored. Okay, ignored means, like, it actually, why it is ignored is not ignored. It will be automatically included in your response time. Okay, so it will be small time which will get added to response time, whichever is there inside the browser, and but the major chunk will come from here.
Vishnu, your voice is a little bit breaking in
Oh,
between.
is it okay now?
Still, it is not.
Okay, let me connect my. Give me a minute. Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I hope it should be better now. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and it is good.
Yeah, we can hear you, Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we have the network latency. So one thing we learned is network latency. What is network latency? Second, we understood what is a request, what is a response, and in a high level way, what is a response time. Okay, so generally, when in performance, okay, when we say or when we are saying response time, what it is let's say this is my browser and this is my server. So I initiate, let's say at A, my request goes, and let's say I get the response back, which is B, let's say C, D. Okay. So the time it takes the total journey, right? A to B, we call it as a response time. So in your response time, is network latency included or not?
It's included.
It is
Yes,
included.
it is
Included.
included.
It's included.
Okay, it is included. And the time A to C is called the request. We can say request time or something. We generally we don't say it that way, but you can say request time or purely network latency for the request to receive. Okay, network latency of the request. Because sometimes what happens is request and response latency might also vary. Okay, so that's the time when sometimes we say network latency of the request. Okay, and B2C is network latency of the response. Okay, coming back. So this way is what your whole response time is actually we can say built, or we can say this is what the response time is in performance testing. Whenever you say response time, this is what it is. So any doubts, anyone till now?
I just want to know the definition of latency. I understood the distance and everything, but
Hmm.
the time which request send and receive is called as network latency.
No, no, no. So see, network is only this network, because see, let's say you are using 5G, I am using 4G. Both of them, the speed will be different,
Yes, it's different. Yeah.
right? So I am sending a message to you, and there is another person who is sending a message to the same guy, and let's say I am in 5G, you are in 4G. Here I'm not speaking about only the bandwidth in which we are communicating, but the transfer that is happening, the data transfer. Okay, if the bandwidth is faster, okay, of that data transfer, it will reach faster, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's the thing. So latency is mainly due to that network what you have.
Okay. So now could you please define it? I got that, but I'm not kept into this study on this.
Okay. So network latency is the time required for the request and or we can say network latency is the okay. Let me explain you like this with the packets. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say there's a browser, let's say server, or in a better way, let's assume you are sending something, okay, an image of let's say 5 MB. Now, how do you send the image of 5 MB in network? Can someone say? How do we send it? Let's say this is the image. How do you send that? Will you send it all together?
We will send it in packets,
Yes.
small.
So let's say there are small packets, okay, based on our bandwidth, what we have. And each packet will be of that KB size, okay, whatever, 1 KB or whatever, okay. And they all will go in different packets, okay, and all will come and join and become the image at the destination. Right, that's why whenever you send some image or something in WhatsApp, if you're on 3G and all, sometimes that image will become blurry. Have you observed that? But your friend will
Yes.
say yeah, we had sent a good image. So that is happening because some packets would go here and there. They will go missing in the network. Okay. So the time which your packet takes from here to here is called a latency.
Okay. Yeah, from the browser to server. Okay.
Yeah, browser to server, or we can say client to server.
Okay.
So this is called client. Why I am saying client is because this can be browser, your mobile, your kiosk, anything, right? Even let's say WhatsApp, your mobile to another WhatsApp in one another mobile. So client, both are clients here in this case, client to client,
Then Vishnu,
right?
what is the difference between response time and latency?
So response time, see, now the thing entered the server. Here some processing will happen, right? It will take some time, some 10 seconds. So that plus latency is your response time. Now your server will not quickly give you that thing back, right? Let's say you are asking and you are asking a landing page to the Amazon server. Now that Amazon server will run the code based on what you're asking, right? So that code will take some time to run and it will give the response back. So that thing will get added to it, right? Are you getting?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's the response time, right? Ultimately, see, as a performance tester, that's a very good question. Okay. Can someone control latency? Do you have control over latency?
No, no.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we
Not much, but actually the correct answer is not much because see, you can reduce the distance of your server and browser. Let's say I am a business in India and I am a business in US. Okay, both places I am doing the business. So what I can do, I can keep the server in India and US both, so that people who are accessing my application from US, they get US. Who are application from India, they get India. So that way the latency will reduce, but I can never make it zero. Are you getting my point? I can never make
Yes.
the latency zero because see, even if I keep it in US also is a big country, right? Your request can come from anywhere, from any corner. If you keep it in New York, it might come from Los Angeles. If you keep it in Los Angeles, it might come from New York. Distance is still there. That network, what I can say, that network friction will be always there. So that latency is not in your control, not much. But
So
the server side processing that is happening, this 10 seconds which I said, that is in your control. You can make your code faster. You can make your queries faster. You can make your, let's say, images lighter, right? Let's say instead of giving 5 MB image, I can give 1 MB, which is faster to load. So those things are in my control. I can improve the performance, right? So this is very important. That is where the response time we tune. So when I say 5 seconds of response time, as a performance tester, let's say I want to bring it to 2 seconds to make it better, right? Or let's say this is what the client is expecting. So this, how do you reduce that 3 seconds? So what I will say is, or how I will say, rather than saying how you will reduce, I will say how developers reduce that 3 seconds. They tune the code, tune the infrastructure, many things, right? They can do, but latency they cannot do much, right? There is a limit to do that. Yeah, please go ahead. Someone was asking some doubt, right?
so my question is like response time include
Yeah.
the browser initiate the moment browser initiate the request,
Mm-hmm.
the time taken to reach the request to the still server,
Yeah.
include the processing time, then respond back to the client. The
Yeah.
whole journey is called response time.
Yes, exactly. Right. Okay. See, it is simple, no? See, when I say response time, see, ultimately what your client is speaking about, right? Or what your customer is looking forward. Let's say I am Amazon. Okay, I'm your customer, and I'm saying my landing page should load in 5 seconds. Okay. Now this 5 seconds when he says, okay, this will vary based on the user. For example, let's say you are on 4G. For you, it might be 10 seconds. Let's say Harika is on 5G. It might load in 3 seconds. So things will change. But what will not change? Let's say I am a tester. I am testing it in 5G. Okay, because customer has said, okay, 5G is what my most of the customers are. So we test it on 5G. In 5G, it should load in 5 seconds. So that we call it as the SLA, service level agreement. The agreement we make with the customer. We say that, okay, when in 5G, my page will load in 5 seconds for, let's say, 100 users. So this we call it as a SLA, service level agreement. Okay. So what I'm saying is this response time 5 seconds. What you said is this, the whole journey.
Vishnu, this is
Okay.
Monica
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, Monica, please go ahead.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
after all this which I have heard, one major factor that is impacting your performance is the distance. But
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
be there a
that is true. That is true. But what I'm saying is that is not in your control. So everyone has no control. Let
yes,
it
it
be
is
Amazon,
not in our
Flipkart.
control.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
my
So let
question
it.
was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
S-
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Wouldn't be there a situation like, say, suppose you have given an example of Vishal and Vishnu. Say Vishal is also browsing from USA and
Mhm.
Vishnu is also browsing from USA.
Yeah.
Vishal got the response in 5 minutes
Mhm.
and Vishnu got the response in 2 minutes. Browsing
Yeah.
from same location couldn't be a situation that they
Yes.
both got different
Can happen.
response times.
Yeah, it can
It can
happen,
happen.
but only when they are on different bandwidth. Let's say Vishal is in 5G, Vishnu is in 4G, or something vice
Okay.
versa.
Based on
Okay.
network speed.
Yes, network speed, because that anyways you cannot control. No, that is the see, as a tester or even as a business, you cannot control your customers' data, right?
No,
Only thing
I was
what we can
asking
do
you.
as a business is, let's say I have 100 customers, and out of that 5G only 10 people are using, 90 people are using 4G. So as a performance tester, I need to test with 4G.
Okay.
Okay, so that way we will do. We will suffice more number of users. This 10 we cannot help. I mean, like, obviously, if you test with 4G, 5G will be faster, but something vice versa, right? For example, let's say 90 people are on 5G, 10 are on 4G. So we test 5G actually. We will not test with 4G for only 10
Okay.
users because there
Okay.
is a reason behind it. Okay, we will learn that. What is the reason behind it?
Okay. Here you say that bandwidth is the factor that is affecting your response.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Because
Thank
latency will get affected not only by distance, no, even your speed, right? Your network
you.
speed. How well that packets are able to come to you fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Thank you.
Sure. And this, see, now this response time, if you clearly see why I have kept three parameters. One is your bandwidth, one is users, because your response time gets affected by due to these two. So
Okay.
let's assume this. Okay, I have a road. Okay, let's say two cars are going. Okay, two cars are going through the road. One, two. Let's say B, A to B. Okay, let's say they reach in 5 minutes. Okay, these two cars. Now, when that cars become four, do you think they will still reach in 5 minutes? Little
No,
traffic will be there, right? Little traffic.
it
So
will
let's
be
say,
bit
yeah,
congested.
it
So,
becomes 6 minutes, let's say. Now, let's say there are 100 cars. So they will just collapse and it will be like a total mess and it might become 60 minutes. So this is how the response time also works, right? More number of users are sending requests to your server. Your server might take more time to respond to them, isn't it? All of you. Hello.
Yes, Vishnu.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's why more number of users accessing your application, your response time will also increase. But it is not proportional. Okay, that you need to take care. I mean, like not like okay, 100 users, it is 1 minute. So for 200 users, it will be 2 minutes. No, not like that. For 100 users, if it is 1 minute, maybe for 200 users, it might be 1.1 minutes. But surely it will increase a bit. Okay. Yeah. But there is a catch there also. Now the catch is, anyone heard about auto scaling in cloud?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In auto scaling, if you have an auto scaling, proper ideal auto scaling, okay, ideal auto scaling setup, there's a small difference in what I said. Okay, that we will see in our upcoming sessions. I'm not going on it now, but when you have an auto scaling setup in your system or your infrastructure, what I said will not be applicable fully. Okay, we will see that. That when your users increase, your response time will also increase. This will not be applicable to a auto scaling setup. Okay, that we will see why. Okay, and what will happen when you have an auto scaling. Okay, so that's why if you have a response time, it depends on two things. One is your bandwidth, 5G, 4G, 3G, whatever, right? Second is your number of users, or we call it the load. So when I say number of users, like the road, okay, they are all accessing at the same time, okay, the server. So now this is 5 users, but server is still one only. Are you all getting the point? Now this is Vishal, Harika, Vishnu, then some, all of them are using it. Okay, like Amazon, but server is only one still. Though we all have different laptops, okay, or mobiles, server is still one. So server has to handle the load, okay. So due to which the response time will get affected. Okay, so any doubts, anyone till now?
No, Vishnu. I'm good.
Okay, all good. Yeah, okay, let me take some questions now. Okay, so if anyone has any doubt, please raise your hand. I'll take one by one. And as I said, please feel free to ask any questions. Let it be the most dumbest question also. Okay, it's fine. We are all here to learn, and we are all, let's assume we are all zero in this. Okay, so we are all here as a zero. We don't have zero. We have a zero knowledge. Okay, because I clearly understand, or I clearly feel that if you want to learn something, you have to empty yourselves first. Okay, because if something has to be filled, first it has to be empty, at least a bit. Okay, not fully empty, but it has to have some space, right? So feel free. Okay, if any doubts, anything anyone has.
No, sir.
Yeah, Nitesh, go ahead.
Yeah, I have one doubt. So, does server's capacity not affect the response time?
Yes,
Maybe
yes, exactly. Yes, that is where the
so.
load, I said, right? All this included in the load.
Mm,
Yeah, because all those will come under that load category, right? If you have a load which your server cannot handle, surely your response time will shoot to infinity. That means your system will break ultimately,
mm, okay.
right? Because see, your system cannot, like for example, let's say your Amazon you're opening and it takes 1 hour to open. It's more sort of like a failed system only, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Any other doubts, anyone? Yeah. So now see in this load, now for response time, we have a metric, which is how many seconds or how many minutes. We can say that. So metric is minutes, seconds. I can say that. But what about the load, right? For load in performance testing, we have a metric called throughput. So what is throughput, right? So throughput is a metric for the load, okay? Or see, when I say number of users, now it is a very vague concept. Now I will explain you why. Okay, why it's a vague concept. Let's say I'm an Amazon. I'm on the Amazon landing page or Amazon, and I'm saying like 500 users are accessing my Amazon landing page in 1 minute. Okay, so this is the statement I have. Okay, now let's say I have one more statement. 500 users are accessing my Amazon landing page. Now, which do you think is a correct statement? First one or second one? Which is more,
First.
I mean, like, which is more which has proper boundaries, or as a tester, it is more clear. Which one?
First one.
First one.
First one.
First one.
First one, Vishnu.
Obviously, the
First
first one.
one.
Second one doesn't have, see, 500 users accessing my Amazon landing page. How much in 1 hour, in 50 minutes, or half an hour? How much, right? That is a very big question we need to ask, right? So, first one is clear, right? Now, let's say 500 users are accessing Amazon landing page in 1 minute, I said. Okay. So, let's say in this example, okay, for to understand this, okay, let it load.
Can you put some on mute?
Yeah, please. If someone is not speaking, they can go on mute. Okay, so 500 users are accessing my landing page in 1 minute. Okay, now to understand something here, let's come to one user. Okay, one user. Let's go to Amazon. Now I just right click and I click on this inspect element. Okay, it is good. So basically, an inspect element, when you do, you can get a lot of insights into what you're accessing. Okay, so you get the elements, console, sources, network, and all those stuff. In that, go to network, and I will just reload it. Okay, I'll just reload this page. So see, all these things what are coming in front of you, right? All these are requests which went to the server. Okay, all these are requests, different things. Like I have asked the server for a script, for an image, for font, for all these requests. These are all requests. Okay, but the main request which went to the backend is this one, the first one, which is basically the request that is your code processing happening. All others are resources like image, some JavaScript files, CSS files. Their processing is not happening. It's just a file you're pulling. But this one, the API, right? Or we can say the request. This is the main request where the processing is happening actually. Okay. So if I go here and if I go to timing, okay, here it took 880 milliseconds. Okay. So basically, this is the response time it took, 880 milliseconds, not for the page to load. Okay. Because for the whole page to load, you will see it here at the bottom. See, it took around 1.1 minutes or 3.67 seconds for the DOM content loaded. Okay, I'll explain what these things are. But the main request, the first one, which as a performance tester, it's very important to us, not the others. That also I'll explain why others are not important and why this is important, how to identify it. Okay, so this one, the 880 milliseconds is the response time, which I am more interested into. Okay, so for one user, now here it is one user, isn't it? I am a user, right? Let's say I am the only user using this now. So this is the response time I'm getting, right? For one user, let's assume. So for one user, so 880 millisecond, I'll say 1 second. Okay. For one user, it is 1 second. Okay. So now the same user hits again. 1 second, hits again, 1 second, hits again, 1 second, hits again, 1 second. So in 5 seconds, how many times can he hit? How many times can he hit?
5 times.
5 times,
More.
right? In 5 seconds, he can hit only 5 times, right? So one user in 5 seconds, he can hit 5 times. Okay, let's assume, let's say same thing as in minutes. Okay, so one user, it takes 1 second. In 60 minutes or 60 seconds, how much he can hit?
60 requests.
Yeah,
Three
can I
times.
say 60 times, right? So he can hit 60 times. Okay, so in a minute, he hits 60 times. So 60 per minute. Is that clear till now? Till now, all of you are with me? When I say 60 per
Yes.
minute.
Yes.
Yes, Vishnu.
So if I write it down, one user accesses Amazon landing page 60 per minute or 60 pages, 60 times in a minute. Okay. So now this thing, I make it as 500 users. So 500 users access Amazon landing page how many times in a minute? I can say 60 into 500,
Yes.
right? So almost like let's say 6 5 30. So
30,000.
maybe 3,000 I can say, or 30,000. Yeah, something. Yeah, 30,000. Okay.
30,000.
Yeah.
30,000.
So 30,000 times in a minute. Now here is the catch. If my customer says 500 user accessing landing page, Amazon landing page in a minute, I have to clearly ask them how many requests per minute. Because if here, instead of 1 second, if it is 2 seconds, what will happen to the this 30,000? It will become 15,000. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Number will reduce, right? Now, so if this response time changes, my number of times per minute will change. So when I say 500 user accessing Amazon landing page in a minute, I have to clearly ask them or not ask them, as a performance tester, I have to convert it into requests per minute. Because this users, if I say there's no use, I mean, like it is a vague concept. But if I say requests per minute, 500 requests per minute, it is same as this, isn't it? 500 users accessing Amazon landing page in a minute. Can I say that?
Yes.
Yes.
So 500 requests per minute. So this 500 requests per minute, which I got, right? We call it as the throughput. So this is the throughput. So how many requests per minute? Now landing page, login, log out, different steps are there, right? A person will not do only opening a landing page. Like when you're opening Amazon, will you just open the landing page? No, you will go to the next page, right? You might go to the product page, you might log in. All these are requests, different requests. And all these will have different what? This request per minute. All will not have same request per minute. Because let's say I am launching an application and I am ordering. Will both have same request per minute?
No.
No.
Because people, whoever are launching will also order? No. It will be maybe 1/10. If launch is 500 requests per minute, ordering will be 50 requests per minute. Because whoever will launch will not order, no? Realistically. If such a business is there, like where people who launch the application, they also order, then that's the most ideal business of the world, right? So the request per minute is very important for each scenario. We will see what is the scenario, what is the flow and all.
So can we
But
say sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you. So
yeah.
can we say throughput is simply nothing but request per minute is a throughput, right?
Yes, exactly. Now you can convert it.
So
You can convert it to request per second, request per hour, however you want. But request per minute is the standard. We say throughput. When someone
so
says, yeah, yeah,
so transaction, what is difference between transaction and request?
yes, yes, that we will come next. Okay. When we go to the scenarios and flows, we will see what are transactions. But see, nothing much major difference. They are also requests only. But when it comes to performance testing inside scripting, we have a word called transaction. Okay, that we will see. Okay, when we go to that stage.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so that is throughput. So now two things we learned: performance testing, two pillars. One is response time and throughput. That's why whenever you hear the performance testing, definition, they say load and stability, right? So load is your throughput, or like even response time you can say, and stability. So if your load is more, your response time will be more. If your stability is not that good, your throughput will fluctuate. That we will see. Okay, what do we mean by that stability? From throughput, actually, you can see whether your application is stable or not. Okay, by plotting the throughput with time, we can see. Okay. Anyways, we'll come
So
to that. Yeah.
so generally when we talk while in normal conversation, performance testing confirmation,
Yeah.
they talk throughput is less.
Mhm.
So usually they measure in per minute or per second.
Per
What
minute.
is the common
So
per minute?
when no one says anything, like you just use throughput, right? Then it is
Yes.
request per minute. Yes. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now coming to the last, I will take 5 minutes more. Sorry for that. Just want to reach a finishing point. Okay. So response time, throughput. Now we have an idea. See, now there is one catch here. Okay. When I say 500 users, 500 requests per minute, with this same, let's say I have 1,000 users. Okay. With 1,000 users also, I can achieve 500 requests per minute. What do you think? Can I do that? For the
Yes.
same
Yes.
application. For the same application.
Yes,
So that is
definitely
the
get
catch.
it.
Okay. When customer says 500 user or 1,000 user, this is important, not this. Because this can change in whatever way you want. But this will not change. I mean, like, why this will not change means like this is a concrete thing. If you achieve this, whether it is 500 users, 1,000 users, doesn't matter. Your server is taking the same load.
But usually when you go through the contract of any performance testing or
Mhm.
non-functional testing between client and the uh, service provider, they talk about the usually request per minute or transaction per minute.
They will never
TPS,
speak about transaction. That's why I said transaction is a performance testing terminology, not the world terminology.
but in
So transaction
often,
comes in LoadRunner, JMeter, those tools brought it, not the world.
but they have one place I have seen they have mentioned the
Mhm.
TPS should be this.
Yeah, that is when your customer has a performance testing guide with them.
Yes, the
That happens.
performance NFT contract only. I
Correct.
have seen the
Yes.
TPS
Mm.
SLA should be
Yes. Yes.
the
Yeah. Because they already have a performance tester, or the BA has already included a performance tester from your project while the NFR was created.
Yes, so they have mentioned the TPS should be this month for
Yes,
2027 December expected load
correct,
volume.
exactly. So see, 99% of the time, right? T and R are same. 99%. Only 1% I will explain, okay, when that transaction might be different. But transactions per minute and requests per minute both are same in 99% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now see, last point I want to just finish off and then we will close. Okay. So see, one user takes 1 second. Okay. So we saw to load. Now let's similarly one. When in 5 seconds, he can open 5 times. Now what if he loads in 1 second, then he sleeps, loads, sleeps, loads. How many times he has opened in 5 seconds?
3 times.
3 times. So here it was 5 times, here it is 3 times. Okay. Now here, let's say 60 seconds. So here it is 60 times and 30 times. So my request per minute is 60 requests per minute, 30 requests per minute. How many users?
1 user.
See, with the same user, what I could do? I could achieve different requests per minute. Able to see? Hello, all of you?
Yes,
Able to
yes.
see? Right?
Yes,
So that is
yes, yes.
okay. So request per minute, but also let's say that 60 requests per minute and 30 requests per minute. Is the load same on my server?
No,
No. Here
no.
the load is more, here the load is less. So load matters more, not the users. Okay. Your server has to be loaded, right? It's more sort of, let's say a truck is going, you fill the truck only half and fill the truck full, which is the correct way to load full, right? I mean, like if you say the truck is loaded, it has to be full. It's the same way. So you should worry about the load, not the number of user. Server load, how much your server is taking. Okay. Yeah. Right. Anyways, so we will discuss all this. Okay. It will become more clear once we go ahead. So tomorrow, what we will do, right? We will see different types of testing like stress testing, spike testing, endurance testing, and all. And we will also see how we can simulate those tests in JMeter. Okay. Because in JMeter, for each test, the setup is different. Okay. How you do that and all, right? And many other things we will see because it's we are just starting off, right? So performance testing fundamentals we have seen today. Tomorrow we will see different types of tests, different graphs and all, different bottlenecks that you generally hear, right? And all those stuff tomorrow. And we will also start off with a basic JMeter script tomorrow. Okay, how to create a basic JMeter script in JMeter and execute it in a high level way. Yeah, I will take
So
some questions now. Okay.
when we talk about the performance testing, the today what we have learned is the net latency, response time,
Mhm.
and this throughput.
Yeah.
So apart from these three,
Yeah.
suppose if we are talking about the network latency, so do
Mhm.
we have also bifurcation in latency also?
Yes, yes. We have something, that's a very good question. We have something called jitter and all, okay, which are little high level things. You don't need to know that now at the early stages because those will come very advanced level of analysis and all, which not required at this stage. Now, response time will have some divisions that we will see, okay, in the upcoming sessions. Some more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Vishnu.
Yeah, Siddharth, yeah. Sure. Anything else? You can raise your hands, okay? I will take one by one. Any doubts anyone has? Please raise your
Please
hands.
share some materials also so we can
Sure,
study.
Siddharth. Just waiting for our private group to be ready. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, then the team will share it because I don't, as I said, I don't handle those things much. So that's all in their hands. So when they share, when they are on all those, but surely you will get it. Okay. When if I mean like you face any issues, you can always contact me. Okay, I can escalate.
Sure.
Yeah. Anything else, anyone?
Not from my side.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Rika. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop it here for today. And tomorrow will be a very interesting session. We will see various interesting topics like different types of tests, memory leaks, and all, which will be very interesting. Because like let's say we will understand how the flash sale and all in Flipkart happens, right? And how suddenly the things go slower, tatkal in railways booking systems. Then similarly, what is the objective of each test? You would have maybe heard the stress test happens, endurance, load test, but what is the objective behind each of these tests, right? It's totally different. And how throughput, response time, on all those things what we learned today gets applicable there, right? So all those things we will see tomorrow. Yeah.
Do you have
Thank you all.
do you have any cheat for the Tatkal booking?
Yeah, I will share a cheat, okay, in the private group.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not only Tatkal, many other situations where there is a load issue, right? We have
Mhm.
cheats, okay, that I will explain how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else,
Good
anyone?
night.
But
Vishnu,
Okay.
one question.
Yeah.
So where you're are you working anywhere exactly, or what exactly? You are not giving
Yeah.
entire
Yeah. Yeah.
introduction.
Yeah. Sure. I'll stop the recording.